Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
What is up, full-time family? I'm off work and it's time to get back to the grind. And we're going to be going live after this video because the grind never stops. Now, with that being said, I got to say I love you, you beautiful motherfuckers, full-time family, you. I got off work, man, and the full-time MMA startup fund is up to like $170. So I appreciate everybody, man. We got like 69 days until we move to our new studio. Getting off of work already, dealing with my landlord. This motherfucker's trying to pull a fast one on us. He tried to say we didn't pay our rent. We got the receipt, so we got his ass. But he's trying to pull some shit, man. But yeah, I know y'all don't give a damn. But it is what it is. That's why I can't wait to get out of this studio. So thank you guys to those of you who donated either overnight or while I was at work. Today is the last day to double your money. My guy Yank My Dandy Doodle will match all donations. So with that being said, let's get to this topic. Daniel Cormier has verbally agreed to fight Corey Anderson. Now, it's not official, of course, but I love what Corey Anderson did here, man. He's one of those guys that came out and he spoke up. You know, you got Daniel Cormier calling out Alexander Gustafsson for turning down that Anthony Smith fight after we found out Alexander Gustafsson had a minor injury. And I was like, well, hey, I mean, I hear you, DC. And you know, DC, he just recently got crowned the GOAT in a lot of people's eyes. He's actually #1 pound for pound on the pound for pound fighters list. He just surpassed Demetrius Johnson. So Daniel Cormier is getting all the respect that he deserves now, and that's dope to see. And on top of that, he's getting a huge payday that he deserves from Brock Lesnar. So Daniel Cormier is getting, you know, it's a great ending for Daniel Cormier. It looks like so far. But now we still have to see how the Brock Lesnar fight plays out, of course. And the only other caveat is, hey, is he going to defend the light heavyweight belt in the meantime, in between time? Or just wait until that Brock Lesnar fight? Now, Daniel Cormier himself said, hey, if Shogun wins the UFC Hamburg, I'd like to fight Shogun. And also the UFC said, or I don't know if it was the Fox, you know, sport, I don't know if it was just the commentators or what, but Corey Anderson said that they said a win over Glover and he gets the title shot. So Shogun lost, there goes his title shot. Anthony Smith was going to fight Alexander Gustafsson on short notice at UFC 227. Boy, was I ready for that fight. But Gustafsson now has a minor injury. And Daniel Cormier came out and said after Gustafsson pulled out, hey, now I'm never going to fight you. Like, what's going on? You called out my teammate after he got, like, one day after he got knocked out. You're talking about moving up to heavyweight to fight me. And you've been inactive. You ain't been fighting. Like, well, what's going on? Now you're turning down all these fights. I'll never fight you. So it's not going to be Gustafsson. It's not going to be Shogun. One of the only other options, if not Anthony Smith, is Corey Anderson. Now, hear me out. I believe whenever Anthony Smith beat Shogun, Shogun was only ranked like #7, but he still was willing to take a short notice fight. That's how he was potentially going to get up to that title fight. Now, Shogun, he would have got the title fight off of his legend status, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like Dan Henderson, you know, or just any of these guys that have a name in the sport that people might want to have on their resume. Like, hey, I would like to fight that guy, you know what I'm saying? So that's what was kind of going on with Daniel Cormier versus Shogun. And like, hey, I mean, I gotta wait on Brock Lesnar anyway. Fuck it, I'll fight Shogun in the meantime. I'd like to have that name on my resume, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Anthony Smith beat Shogun, but he was only ranked like #8. The higher ranked fight was actually Corey Anderson versus Glover Teixeira. I believe Glover Teixeira was ranked like #3. So with that win over Glover Teixeira, Corey Anderson actually did jump into the top 5. So he actually does make sense for a title fight now that he's ranked like #3. But the thing is, he's not the biggest name. So nobody was really talking about Corey Anderson getting this title shot. But he came out and called out Daniel Cormier respectfully, which is cool to see that Daniel Cormier responded to this and Corey Anderson didn't have to get out of character. But this is what Corey Anderson had to say. Yo, Daniel Cormier, they said a win over me and Glover would earn a title shot. I beat him. Media said you wanted Shogun. He lost. You told Gus off. You already fought Vulcan. I never call you out of respect, but I'm 100% down to fight you. Cool little call out. Didn't get crazy. It is what it is. Respect to the champ. You know what I'm saying? But he pointed out a lot of good things. Like, hey, you're not going to fight Shogun. You're not going to fight Gustafsson. You already fought Vulcan. What's up? I'm a fresh matchup. Sounded like you were trying to get a light heavyweight fight in. I'll be your Huckleberry. So good call out by Corey Anderson. And yo, check this out. It fucked around and worked. Daniel Cormier said, okay, sure, just find out when and where. I'll be there. I always am. My faith in DC, if I had lost any in that little call out of Gustafsson, because I was like, come on, man. I mean, I get what he's saying, but at the same time, I was thinking in my head, like, how are you going to call out Alexander Gustafsson for not fighting anybody when you're potentially going to be waiting out for some months on Brock Lesnar, you know? You're talking about fighting Shogun, and now we might not see a light heavyweight fight. What's going on with this light heavyweight title? So I was starting to wonder what was going to happen with Daniel Cormier. How was he going to play out this situation now that he's not fighting Gustafsson and Shogun lost? But to my surprise and a pleasant surprise, DC accepted the call out, so we actually might get to see this fight, and I'm down for it. Now, this is likely just going to be another payday on the way out the door for Daniel Cormier. I don't think Corey Anderson will beat Daniel Cormier, but of course he has that potential. But to be fair, Corey Anderson's strong suit is his wrestling. Is his wrestling on the level of DC? I doubt it. And he doesn't have the best chin in the light heavyweight division. I think that's fair to say. And we just saw Daniel Cormier can knock a motherfucker stone cold out. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't a great matchup for Corey Anderson, but it's still a big opportunity and a big fight. And with that being said, it's still a title defense for Daniel Cormier. Maybe he can fuck around and hop on, you know, UFC 229 or something and just get a payday before we find out what's going on with Brock Lesnar. Because honestly, that Brock Lesnar fight is still not a guarantee. Brock Lesnar has to go through 6 months of USADA testing. Is that even possible for Brock Lesnar to pass 6 months of USADA testing? And if it is, there was a fighter, who was it? I don't remember which fighter, but somebody, was it Chael Sonnen? I don't remember who, probably not Chael, but I'm just saying, I mean, I think it's a common agreement that if Brock Lesnar makes it past 6 months of USADA testing and he comes out looking the same, there's something fishy going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's paying them off or what the fuck would happen, but it seems close to impossible for Brock Lesnar to pass 6 months of USADA testing. But we'll see what goes on, you know what I'm saying? But if that Brock Lesnar fight doesn't come to fruition, then what is DC gonna do? Fuck it, let's fight Corey Anderson in the meantime, in between time, while we figure it out. I like the call out, and he's actually one of the only names that makes sense. Now here's the other option, a light heavyweight tournament, and that would not include Daniel Cormier. That's something I heard about a little bit, I believe, on the MMA, actually a couple of shows while I was at work today. But I like this idea. Light heavyweight division right now is a division with no clear-cut champion. I mean, of course, Daniel Cormier, but I'm saying if he were to vacate, right, or not come back to light heavyweight, some people believe Daniel Cormier won't come back to light heavyweight. But if he wasn't, and he was just going to relinquish that belt, how do we figure out the champion? Do we just have Gustafsson fight Anthony Smith? I mean, that's a fight I wanted to see, but you know, Anthony Smith, he's only had 2 fights at light heavyweight. The only reason he was really going to get that Gustafsson fight is because it was on short notice and he was willing to step up. Now that it's not short notice, maybe Gustafsson versus Smith doesn't make as much sense, but there's still Corey Anderson up there. Also Vulcan. What about a little tournament? 4-man tournament. Gustafsson, Vulcan Ozdemir, Corey Anderson, Anthony Smith. I'm down. It sounds like a good idea to me, but maybe DC comes down and just defends his belt against Corey Anderson. You know, someone that called him out respectfully and somebody that's a new matchup. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. We're going live today at 7 p.m. Eastern, maybe 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Just stay tuned to the channel. I'm sure you guys aren't going to get notifications. Y'all know how that goes. Notification bell is a little rusty. we got to clean that thing off. Maybe get some WD-40. It's not working right all the time, but it is what it is. So I'll see some of you guys there when we go live. With that being said, it is what it is. Shout out to everybody again that donated while I was at work or while I was asleep for work or whatever the hell happened. Whenever you did it, I appreciate it. It's gonna help a lot, man. So yeah, I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOJ.